It's 19 hours GMT. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Joy News Prime. We are coming to you from our studios here at Koko Mlemle in Accra. We are live on DSTV, channel 421, GoTV 125. And around the world, we are on myjoyonline.com. I am Carlos Kaloni.
And I am Faustina Safo. Tonight, the Ghana Education Service preliminary investigations implicates non-students in school brawl that left many hospitalized, prompting swift action from authorities, with police arresting 3 suspects and vowing to bring all perpetrators to justice.
Investigating the matter, we too, for years, we start our district directors, and the investigators will also go to the various schools to assist.
More as the National Parent-Teacher Association criticizes school authorities for dragging their feet on implementing the new Student Code of Conduct.
Also tonight, tomato trade map red zones in Burkina Faso as they await final confirmation to head back barely 2 weeks after 8 Ghanaians were killed in a terrorist attack as tomato shortage hit part of market in the country. We have details from the 37 military hospital here in Accra, where some of the injured tomato traders are receiving treatment, with several still requiring surgery.
Also tonight, the Electricity Company of Ghana attributes widespread power outages to transformer failures, citing substation failures and upgrades in parts of Accra and Kumasi.
This is Joy News. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism.
Please stay for details.
Tonight, Ghana Education Services preliminary investigations revealed that a non-student were involved in a clash between Obachere and Swedro Business School students. 3 suspects have been arrested by police following a violent confrontation that hospitalized several students and shook the academic community. The Ghana Police Service condemned the violence on Facebook, assuring the public that perpetrators will face justice as investigations continue. There's more in the following report.
Tensions boiled over between students of Obachere Senior High Technical School and Swedro School of Business erupting into a violent clash that left several injured on Thursday, 19 February 2026. Eyewitnesses say an Obachere student was attacked by a group believed to be from Swedro, struck with sticks and pelted with stones until bystanders intervened to restore calm. Authorities are awaiting a report from the Ghana Education Service Director General to determine the circumstances and appropriate disciplinary action. The Ghana Police Service condemned the violence on Facebook, assuring the public that the perpetrators will face justice as investigations continue. Central Regional GES Director Dr. Julius Nyamiche says they are working closely with the police to investigate.
Indicated in the letter, we are working with the police. They made some few arrests, and so they are still investigating the matter. We too, for GES, we start our district directors, and the investigators will also go to the various schools to ascertain the velocity of it.
The DCE of Ewutu Senya West, Kalala Nyamiche, has revealed that the violence occurred during the Zonal Senior High School athletics competition in the Central Region.
The sad event happened on Thursday at Swedro School of Business, and 2 students were stoned on Thursday and Friday too. The video that we saw on Vera was on Friday. But currently, as we speak, the nurses and the doctors at Swedro Government Hospital and Obachere just compound have been able to calm the situation down. So currently, as we speak, investigation is currently ongoing. When I heard the videos, I was up to the Director General of Education and the Regional Director of Education. So currently, he has also summoned all the head teachers and the regional directors involved.
Deputy Education Minister Dr. Clement Apak has been providing details on the students injured in the clash.
We are very appalled and indeed disappointed with regards to the violent act that captured and are now preparation on social media. But let me sound this warning to students that the days when students felt they could misconduct themselves, engage in acts of violence and lawlessness, misconduct themselves, and go free are over.
Meanwhile, the National Parent-Teacher Association has criticized school authorities for their slow response in enforcing the recently drafted Student Code of Conduct. Irene Sam speaks for the council.
We should have heavy security at late so that some of these things can be kept. And then we should also have some of our awareness programs to talk to our wards on the need for them to eschew some of these social vices that impede on the educational and impact as individuals and as children that we have taken them to school to change their career path and then for them to become responsible individuals for themselves, for their family, and for their nation at large.
Away from that, tomato traders are exercising caution tonight, mapping out high-risk areas in Burkina Faso as they await clearance to resume their trips. This comes after a terrorist attack 2 weeks ago claimed the lives of 8 Ghanaians, disrupting tomato supplies and potentially driving up prices in the country. Traders have been advised to avoid identified security hotspots, with leader of the Tomato Trader Association, Eric Nanatofo, stating that members are suspending travel to volatile areas until further notice. We'll hear from him shortly. First, though, my colleague Gemma Piam has been finding out how tomato shortage is affecting eatery owners who rely on tomatoes for food preparation. She filed the following report.
Auntie Jane is a popular food joint here at Kokomlemle, and tomato is one of the major ingredients that she uses in preparing her dishes. So from stew to soup and all the other meals here, she uses tomatoes. So following the shortage or concerns that there's shortage of tomatoes on the markets because of the attack in Burkina Faso, I'm here to have a conversation with Auntie Jane to find out from her whether she's experiencing that when she goes to the market and how that is affecting the prices of her food.
Case neighbor and say, I'm out to jump crowd, brands and I be. Even across a near customer would be on a while. Do a crown, my will be. I'm cry because who want to be on a winty. A bino into one, just say, wow, to be no concern a mocha crabby.
In first, no, now, Oto tomatoes, say, and as you say, no, she say, how much do you buy it for?
First, no, into no, no. Me tobe say 200 kura. Me to me the manager is to say 2 days, but in the me 200 rampo kura, me to 300. Even I'm there for 1 day.
So for this stew that you prepared, you used 300 cedis to worth of tomatoes.
Yeah.
And it's finished. The 300 cedis that you bought is finished.
Yeah, but tin tomatoes in the manka, but tomatoes na kitty bio. Small, but and do best cup we crab back on the 300 no. And you say no when any way more. Bibi kitty be. And see ya never consider near the Jenny and I say Niama ansana what to me tomatoes and sana we used to now what to me and sana open.
So how are you pricing your food now? Its price isn't the same.
Me too. They send me 7 on the sun. I'm honest. Yeah. Me person me cost will be able 20. Sun price in it.
See how I affect you.
Oh. Well, idea you me say beba, but as I say, oh my customer ne oh my monko. Until I say who so say who bet just be big kakra one. No to me. Ah yes sir.
So you heard Auntie Jane. Previously, she used to prepare or she used to buy 200 cedis worth of tomatoes for her food, to prepare her food. But now, because of the shortage of tomatoes on the market, she has to buy 300 Ghana cedis of it, and that is not even enough. And so she has to mix it with onions and other things to be able to get her signature taste, and that's affecting her. But she hasn't increased the prices of her meals, so she's losing at the end.
Well, the uncertainty around the tomato trade is already impacting sales. Let's head to the Malamata and Agbogloshi markets here in Accra, where my colleague Hannah Odami reports a surge in the price of the commodity. A single tomato now costs 5 cedis.
Yes, I'm toast a short time and toast war. So say na ye ku omo no enti na omo ntumi nko na omo de bi beba no. So ya kana sunjwe ba ho omo na wo a omo de bi beba be ye.
Auntie Baby J is saying that there is abundance of tomatoes, but then it's not in Ghana, it's in Burkina Faso.
And they say Adru Burkina Faso and toast. Now so nansa omo kokra na omo koba. Okoba we ko etimi hwie no 180 70. But they say no omoko ya kwachi yankofo and they say no bibia to na kwan mu a ebeba mo mbenya ne sede omope no enye say ya hyada ene e ton abode ama wo.
So she is pleading with consumers and those who come to buy from them to understand them when they mention the prices.
Actually, the price itself is very difficult because when you see the quantum that they gave it to me as a 50 cedis. It's very hard, but how am I going to do?
I bet 10 cedi crab. I bet I will 5 cedi bin afabla. Was it 35?
Fitimi kwa la ben na start se beton to so say ne boy din timi nton. Ne boy din dodo. It was 45 million dem ko an.
Kumasi, where the shortage of tomatoes and the rising prices of the ones available are hitting local eateries and restaurants, with operators struggling to secure enough for cooking. My colleague Irabna Akwe visited a local restaurant in Kumasi. Here's what she found.
The tomato import tragedy has really shaken them, and they are scared to go back to Burkina to import cocoa. So now the prices could they are already up, and currently I'm here at a chop bar called a Fie chop bar, and we spoke to the owner of the chop bar, and she was saying tomatoes that she bought for just 800 cedis a couple of weeks ago is now about 2,000 cedis. Tomatoes is a major ingredient in most of our foods, and it could possibly affect their business. Let me speak to her and find out what she can say about that. What's saying and saying 800, say 2,000. Na esi da ben na esi sa no so uhu ne sen.
Last week ya na started esi ya na me ya ho a kire pa ntosi ya na to na 800 no se se okoto ya times 2 times 3 inti no yentimi ento ntosi no this time ti esra ban na pa se o ma bambofo ni ntosi fo ma na chi ene driver fo ma na chi driver fo me ma no ene ma no ebi wona okowu aja na yire ne ma ontimi nkoze se ame ho kire ye pa anti esra ban ni yi so mo antosi fo ma na o ma driver fo no na bi nso ye so visa choba na ye ne yentimi ntu ye ne ma nim ontimi nkotum si ya tu ntosi muze si ya wo kotum enti afeti ye pa ti esra ban ni se onye hu bibi ma ye na ye nso ye ninye se mu aye din de ye ne ma de entimi ntum ba ba fo ma de na chese ye nso ye hu ato ye kakra. Esra buying pa why so mo antosi for ma no ye say ye na ye choba say de ne o mo ankwa ama ye ntu ye nya bi nya aduane.
So she's basically saying the government should strengthen security so that the tomato traders can easily go and come back and bring tomatoes. As for her, she can't increase the prices of her food, but then she really hopes that something is done about it very soon so that she can be able to sell and buy tomatoes at the previous price that she used to buy them. I'm about to speak to the seller here at the Fie chop bar. Mpacho betimi aben kakra. Mpacho now say tomatoes no ehun ayedin for some time now. Ukwa drama e affect ukwan ben so.
Affect bebre because your madam dey scam your class say nkodi dwa. Enso ba bia. First pa your quiet me nyan kakra kakra bi de toto e ne marketing kiti bi. But you say enso ba bia enso yen Inti de kakra me kan say yesra ban ne say se na Burkina president ayama ehonum na ya akono na obi atimi ehonum aye free obi atimi nya tumi to ade kama no yesra ban ne say omboaye na yeso ye ha no o ma ne nya akono bebi omu ye ntosi no obetimi
amomu na providing enema na omutimi dia ye ntosi na ma ntosi na abafom am yetimi ato ntosi no na de bibia ye de ye nkwan ye de stew ye de bibia wo ya nkwan na se ntosi ni ma enye de ye to ye ntosi me madam ompe de aproplo opɛ de ɛyɛ kama a ɛdɛ nti yɛ aduane no yɛ fɛrɛ sɛ wokɔkɔkɔkora wobɛsa aba abedi nti ono ompa de fo nti yɛ kɔtɔ ntosi na ono ompa de aplo nti yɛ sra aba na sɛ omboa yɛ na oma ɛkwan so ɛnyɛ bɔkɔ ɛma yɛ srɛ na why.
She's also pleading with the government to do something about the trading in Burkina, because right now when they are given money to go to the farm, to the market to buy the foodstuff, they are not able to be within budget.
Well, the data on Ghana's tomato import is not encouraging, as nearly 100% of fresh tomato import used to meet domestic demand are sourced from Burkina Faso. In the studio is Caleb Ziblim of our Joy News Research and is in studio. Give us a picture of Ghana's tomato sector.
Yes, Carlos. So we know that according to the Food and Agriculture Ministry, Ghana produces only 38% of the entire nation's tomato consumption. So we need 1.3 million metric tons of tomato to meet local demand. But then currently we're only producing 500,000 metric tons of tomatoes. That's about 30%, less than half of it. So the majority of it, that's almost 800,000 metric tons of tomatoes, needs to be imported. And we get majority of the imports mainly from Burkina Faso. They do more than 90% of imports of fresh tomatoes. The rest of it comes from some EU countries like the Netherlands or France. So this is the picture right now. We have 1.3 million metric tons of local demand. Our local production is 500,000 metric tons. That's about 38%. So we have to import the remaining 62%, which is 795,000 metric tons. And when we look at the data, in 2024, for fresh tomatoes, we imported $22 million worth of fresh tomatoes into the country. And then for processed tomatoes, though we have the tomato paste and some crushed tomatoes, that was $77 million. So together, we are doing almost $100 million in 2024 for tomato, either fresh or processed tomato. And
that's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah. And majority of this for the fresh tomatoes goes to Burkina Faso. I think over 90% of the imports of fresh tomatoes are from Burkina Faso. So if you have 90% of your imports or imports of tomatoes coming from one country, if there's a shake-up or a major disruption in that country, that's why Ghanaians are going to feel it. Because again, our production is less than half. We do 38% of the total production we need to meet the 1.3 million metric tons of local demand. So this is the picture we have. Majority of the fresh tomatoes come from Burkina Faso, and we did $100 million in 2024.
All right. Thank you so much, Kile, for those details.
Thank you. Well, meanwhile, at the 37 military hospitals, some of the injured tomato traders are receiving treatment. Traders are actually worried about it. The Trade Minister, Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjare, says they are all responding to treatment based on her checks earlier today.
That's what we have seen. In the list, the patients have told us how they have been taken care of. Today, I'm here with my colleague Minister for Transport and then my deputy. I'm also happy and privileged to be here by the leadership of GPRTU, the leadership of Tomato Sellers Association, and some of the survivors. We are here to visit the people who got injured during the Burkina Faso accident. We've wished them well. We pray that they recover fully under your care. It's unfortunate, and we condemn this in no uncertain terms. I don't know how buying and selling of tomato can end somebody's life. Peaceful people going about their business. But we hope that we are able to do tomato all year round so that this will not happen. We pray for peace in that space also, because, peaceful people going about their business will end in a hospital with this kind of injury. We are lucky to have this kind of care here at 37 Military Hospital. Only God knows what would have happened to them if government was unable to bring them here on time.
We can now hear from leader of the Tomato Traders Association, Eric Nanatufo, who says traders are exercising caution, mapping out high-risk areas in Burkina Faso as they await clearance to resume their trips.
And supply normally determine the price of a commodity. So when the demand is high, automatically the price will go up. So this will take a gradual process. It will come down automatically, it will come down. But right now, I cannot assure you that today or tomorrow, prices of tomato will be this or this. But automatically, we are working on it so that the prices of tomato will be stabilized.
Well, let's head to Parliament now. The minority is tonight accusing the acting deputy chief executive of Cocoa Board in charge of finance and administration, Atu Boateng, of conflict of interest in the discharge of his duties at the company. According to the group, Cocoa Board is deliberately depriving PBC of funds, while Atu Boateng is allegedly diverting the money to keep Atlas Commodities afloat. Addressing the media in Parliament, Member of Parliament for Outages, Vincent Ekwasefo, says there are clear conflict of interest concerns involving Atu Boateng, and that is affecting the operations of PBC. The following report has more.
Public records show that Mr. Boateng...
The Outages Member of Parliament, Vincent Ekwasefo, says the operations of the produce buying company are seriously being hindered due to what he describes as unfair treatment by the acting deputy chief executive officer of Cocoa Board, Atu Boateng. He believes Mr. Boateng is behind the alleged irregular activities of Atlas Commodities Limited, a situation he says has left PBC struggling to survive.
This is something that we should get clear. PBC is a government-owned enterprise or government-owned entity. LBCs are for the private, that is the privately owned enterprises. So if government, that is Cocoa Board, secures money to be able to buy cocoa, it is proper that Cocoa Board does not deprive PBCs, which is the government-owned entity, to be able to buy cocoa.
He claims that Atlas Commodities Limited is currently operating in some warehouses belonging to PBC, which he says is against the regulations of Cocoa Board.
Under Cocoa Board regulations, each licensed buying company must operate within warehouses registered in its own name. We also have in our hands receipts that actually shows that some of the ceilings were done at the PBC warehouses belonging to Atlas Commodities Limited.
Vincent Ekwasefo also noted that workers of PBC have not been paid for about a year, attributing the challenge to schemes he alleges by Atu Boateng that have deprived the company financially.
There are also troubling reports that some PBC workers reportedly have not been paid for extended periods, at least for a period of 1 year. The reason why PBC workers are not paid is that when government gets the money, it does not give the money to PBC to go and buy cocoa, so that government will be able to get some margins off it. If you get margins, that is when you'll be able to get money to be able to pay your workers.
He also called for a full criminal investigation into the situation, saying cocoa farmers and PBC are struggling due to what he describes as alleged schemes to deprive them by the deputy chief executive.
As a minority, we demand the following. We demand a full criminal investigation by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. We demand a constitutional conflict of interest determination by SHRAJ. We also demand a forensic audit of warehouse registrations and cocoa movement records.
Away from cocoa, the Electricity Company of Ghana says it has restored power to all consumers in the Ashanti region following a torrid weekend of intermittent power outages. The region over the weekend experienced a power glitch following a high voltage cable fault that led to a blast at the Reach substation, Station A, serving as a primary bulk supply point. Another blast, followed by thick smoke, was also detected in Ejusu after a third-party interference necessitating an emergency shutdown of power to Ejusu and its environs to allow prompt investigations and to prevent further damage. Ohimi Tewia has more in the following report.
Officials of the Electricity Company of Ghana say the blast interrupted the interconnected line between Station A and Station B at Adwato, effectively shutting down several key primary substations. They included the Adwato, Ejinasi, Afari and Agogo substations, depriving several customers of power. Engineers of ECG worked throughout the weekend to locate and repair the faults. Here is the manager of network maintenance at Ashanti Sub-Transmission, Engineer James Mensah Yevunya.
And this fault affected our interconnected line from station A to station B at Adwato. And so that rendered the entire Adwato substation off. It affected a substation at Ebinase, Angogo, and Aferi. And so after several hours of investigation, we noticed that there was a blast in the underground cable, the tunnel there. And that is literally what caused the fault. We have to stay throughout the night and fix the fault. But because it is our main 33 line that feeds these main substations, it affected a very large number of customers. But thankfully, we managed to restore supply to our customers on Sunday. That one too, there was some bend. We also take smoke from our substations. And so we got what we needed in order to save the situation. We have to go off, investigate, and then fix the situation. So for Ejuso, we have to transfer them onto a different line. Yes, so it was just a short transfer we did. That affected.
While ECG has assured of commitment to customer care, noting that while some technical failures are unpredictable, the company strives to communicate both emergency faults and plant maintenance. Here is Engineer Yevunya again.
These are machines, these are cables. Sometimes you have a loose contact, sometimes you have like I said, a blast. And so they happen. That is why we also have constant maintenance of our system. We are always there to delight the customers. After all, we are there for them. Some of these things are unpredictable. Our PR is also here. When there is an emergency, we put it out there. When we have a planned maintenance, we also put it out there. Fortunately, we have a ring network, so sometimes we try as much as possible to also feed them from other sources.
Stay with us.
Welcome. Grateful you could stay with us. Let's head for more stories.
Well, let's head now to the Western region, where the Western Regional Police Command has arrested 3 people linked to 2 trucks suspected of carrying narcotics. The first truck was stopped around 5 p.m. on Tuesday at the Asoko Isaman area. Now, 3 suspects, according to the report, fled. 1 was caught and led the police to a second truck at Nkofo in the area. Now, 2 more suspects are arrested, I'm told, by the police after and are allegedly offering some 69,000 Ghana cedis to bribe officers who refused and took them into custody.
2 vehicles with registration number GE8965-12 and GS3368-17 were intercepted around 5:30 p.m. at Asoko Barrier and later at the Nkofo Junction. According to the police, the first truck was stopped at Asoko Barrier while traveling from Accra towards Takoradi. The vehicle was loaded with bags containing a substance concealed under sawdust.
The first truck was arrested at Asoko Isaman police barrier by the barrier men on duty. 3 people absconded. Police was able to arrest 1 of them. So the arrested one led police to the second vehicle, which was parked at Nkofo Junction. So in all, we've been able to arrest 3 people. The 2 people, they came with 69,000 Ghana cedis to offer to police to negotiate for the release of their colleague. Unfortunately, police didn't accept the bribe and they were also arrested. This morning, the truck has been offloaded and we had about 152 big bills of substances in it. Each bag contained about 82 pieces of compressed alleged Indian hemp wrapped in yellow wrappers. The 3 people arrested, one is Moses Kwekutewia. He is 44 years. We have Isaac Kwame Kunto, also 44 years. Then we have Kobina Forson, 55. Kobina Forson and Isaac Kwame Kunto were the people who came with the money to bribe police. Moses was the one who was initially arrested. According to them, they came from a place in Kofodia, and they were heading towards Ivory Coast.
Public Relations Officer of the Western Regional Police Command, Superintendent Olivia Irabna Adiku, commended the officers for their professionalism. She also issued a stern warning to individuals involved in illicit drug trafficking, stressing that security agencies remain vigilant and will not hesitate to act.
We would like to advise the general public to desist from such acts. We are very high alert, and anybody who tries to come within our corridors with these substances will be arrested and made to face the full rigor of the law. We would like to commend our personnel. They were very alert on duty. If not, these trucks with these 52 bales would have passed to Côte d'Ivoire or wherever they were going.
For Joy News, in Athalia Kwansa, second day.
We're from the Civil Society Platform for Social Protection, CSPSP, is warning of a looming crisis as nearly 100 beneficiaries under the labor-intensive public works and productive inclusion program still awaiting payment. The group says more than 85 million Ghana cedis is outstanding or in outstanding wages and grants are pushing vulnerable households deeper into hardship despite improving macroeconomic indicators. There's more in the following report.
Under the labor-intensive public works and productive inclusion programs have been delayed for over a year, leaving thousands of Ghanaian households struggling to meet basic needs. National Coordinator for CSPSP, Obrangelil Odum, says 94,000 beneficiaries are affected, with $60 million for PI and $22 million for LIPW still locked in project financing.
We address the nation today with deep concern and urgency regarding the continued and unacceptable delay in payments to approximately 100,000 beneficiaries under the Labor-Intensive Public Works, LIPW for short, and Productive Inclusion, which is also PI for short. Currently, more than $16 million for productive inclusion and over $22 million for the LIPW remain locked within the project's financing envelope.
The civil society platform is urging the ministries of finance and local government to release all pending payments immediately and provide clear public communication.
The total outstanding owed to the LIPW beneficiaries alone is approximately 42.5 million Ghana cedis, and that of the productive inclusion is 43 million Ghana cedis. The Civil Society Platform for Social Protection therefore calls on the government of Ghana through the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs to immediately release all outstanding payments. Delays have become unsustainable. Vulnerable households cannot absorb prolonged income disruptions.
The platform warns that failure to act could spark nationwide demonstrations.
To mobilize these beneficiaries that have not been paid, we are going to hit the streets and demand that which is due them.
With unpaid funds continuing to pile up, CSPSP says the delay is deepening hardship, raising fears of unrest if the situation is not addressed. For Joy News, Evelyn Ampa and Deborah Bedu's report read to you.
Away from that, institutions nationwide are being urged to strive for excellence beyond mere compliance, with the government pledging support for initiatives driving quality, innovation and research. This appeal was made at the Noguchi Memorial Institute Quality Week launch. Michelle Latte has more in the following report.
Acting Minister for the Ministry of Environment, Emmanuel Ama Kofi-Boa, has made a renewed call for institutions to move beyond accreditation and cultivate a strong culture of quality. Speaking on behalf of the minister at the launch of the Noguchi Memorial Institute's Quality Week, Deputy Director General of the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, Professor Francis Hashford, observed that many institutions appear more invested in one-time achievements. He stressed that excellence must be embedded in organizational culture, becoming a standard way of operating rather than a rare occurrence.
I believe your Quality Week is not only a time for reflection, but also a call to action. It is an important opportunity to reinforce a culture where procedures are followed, not of obligation.
Away from that, homes swallowed by the sea, fishing stopped by fear, and families pushed closer to displacement. In Ghana's south area, Ketu South to be precise, municipality, coastal communities are slowly sinking as tidal waves advance inland. But a new sea defense project offers fragile hope. Mahmoud Nuruddin reports from Salakofe in today's climate evidence
Waves retreat. There is little left to save in Salakope and nearby coastal communities in Ketu South. Homes have been destroyed. Canoes lie broken. Families are scattered. For 33-year-old Ruben Ativi Bativo, the sea was the only place for him.
I did not continue my education, so I work on the sea.
But even that work is no longer certain.
When the tidal waves hit our shore, all the canoes could no longer go to sea, so we moved to Adina to fish.
Fishing is the only source of income for many young people here. Now they travel to neighboring towns just to earn a little money if they can. Not far away, Yekwe Gali sits on the ground with a child on her lap. Even here, she says, it's not safe.
Sometimes we are cooking and the sea splashes into the fire and puts it out.
Her shelter is shared with rodents.
A mouse even bit my hand. Sometimes all I can do is to cry. What I need most is food. My grandchildren also need to go back to school.
Standing on the shoreline, community leader Gideon Tete points to what used to be home.
The community from where I stand is far into the sea now. That's about 500 meters away from this place. That is where the community used to be, with a lot of houses, a lot of occasion ground or event ground, a lot of things that we have.
Homes, event grounds, and even the community's borehole are all gone.
This is the same place we get our borehole water. Yes, borehole water.
Togwe Tete ordered all fishing to stop.
I told them not to venture, and we drew all our nets from the sea. We are fishing no more. And the most disadvantaged one, we can migrate to, say, Agaveji, Blakusu, Adina, and fish. But the problem is, during the heat of the destruction, our canoes, including the machine, have been destroyed.
Salakope is not alone. Across Ghana's southeastern coast, from Keta to Adina, more than 10,000 structures have been destroyed. Experts say the sea moves inland by about 2 meters every year. Changing weather patterns is driving stronger waves and rising sea levels. But human activity such as deforestation and unplanned construction has made the coast more vulnerable. But now residents say hope has returned. In July 2025, Phase 2 of the Blekusu Coastal Protection Project began. It will protect 8 kilometers of coastline, including Salakope.
I must say that I am impressed about what is going on here, because I've been receiving payment certificates in the office. I've been asking myself, is the work really going on like the way these payment certificates keep coming? And I decided that today I'll pay a visit to ensure that whatever payment certificate that comes to my office to be signed, the actual work has been done. And truly, I've come to see that the work is really going on.
The project includes sea defense, shoreline restoration, fish markets, and storage facilities.
The whole construction is supposed to be about 37 groins with about 220 meters interval for this 8-kilometer stretch. So if within this short period, they've been able to start working on 6 drawings and looking at the work that is going on here, looking at the machinery, looking at the quarry, looking at the staff here, I think they are on track. They are even ahead of time. So I'm quite impressed with what is going on here. But still, we will encourage them. Not that I'm here encouraging them and then now they will know minister came here, so everything is fine. No.
A report by Mohamed Nuruddin.
This story is brought to you by Joy News in partnership with CDKN Ghana, University of Ghana Center for Climate Change and Sustainability Studies, with funding from Claire R4I Opportunities Fund.
Well, in world news, U.S. President Donald Trump has warned of tougher trade measures against countries he accuses of exploiting existing agreements following a Supreme Court ruling that blocked a key plank of his tariff policy. In a post on Truth Social, Mr. Trump said any country that seeks to, quote, play games with a court decision, particularly those he claims have, quote, ripped off the United States for years, would face even higher tariffs than previously agreed. The warning comes after the Supreme Court of the United States ruled that the president had overstepped his authority in implementing a sweeping global tariff program under the International Emergency Economic Powers. In response to the ruling, Mr. Trump announced a revised global tariff structure, first setting a 10% rate and later increasing it to 15%. The new rate is expected to take effect on Tuesday. And that's all we have time for now. I will wait for Showbiz.
Indeed, Becky will be in the studio shortly. Please stay with us. Well, it's time for Showbiz, and Becky Bex is in the studio. Hi, Becky.
Good to see you, Fosim.
Dashing as usual.
Thank you. Have you seen my new hair? I'm keeping this for this week.
Okay.
So just bear with me. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. A lot has happened at the weekend, and we're bringing it all to you. Everything that you've missed at the weekend, we're bringing it to you here on Joy News Friday.
Actually, let me...
It's a radiman, sencheni ni zampaya, mi boye chuo. Ma wo se wuyo nyamia, otiasi. Titi nyamima, sencheni ni zampaya, mi boye chuo nyamima. Ma wo se wuyo nyamia, otiasi. Hello, family. Another week is here, and like always, we come to you with a grateful heart and praise to God Almighty for His love and grace stories on us. Today, let's begin with the woman who speaks highly of the importance of staying grateful, Dinah Hamilton. Following a powerful and spirit-filled gathering in Accra just a week earlier, multiple award-winning Ghanaian gospel musician Dinah Hamilton has successfully hosted the Kumasi edition of a 2026 Awake Experience, drawing thousands of worshippers to the Bantama Church of Pentecost Sunday, February 22. Patrons were first treated to a series of powerful ministrations from some of gospel music's most respected voices, the legendary Tega Sisters, veteran gospel minister Elder Miracle, South African gospel sensation Tokozo Mbambo, gospel musician Jojo Ahin, and the woman of the moment, Dinah Entry Hamilton. Jackie ending showbiz for us here on Joy News Prime. We are so grateful for your time. We hope that we've earned the privilege of your time. They should log on to myjoyonline.com. That's where you find all the news. Please stay safe. Jesus is Lord. And continue to support the Joy platforms. And also, we have the Adom platforms as well.
Please, Becky has spoken. Good night.
Oh, okay, bye.